applied. And P is the price of pork if we are talking about pork. And H is the price of hogs. Is actually some input. So you want to produce more pork, or the input price of the production affect the supply of the quantity, the supply. Okay, so it's actually similar to the previous slide. Okay, sorry. So if we set pH at 1.5, then this relationship would be how many? So 1.5 multiplied by 60 would be 90, right? Negative 90. So it would be 88. It would be 88. Where is that? The relationship would become Q supplied 88 plus 40 P. If we set pH at 1.5. Okay, so we may draw a supply curve. And if pH increases from 1.5 to 1.75, then you will see a shift to the left of the supply curve. Any question about this? The supply, demand? Should be very simple. Actually, I just give you a quite simple examples to start today's class. Alright, so summing supply functions examples, domestic and foreign supply of rice. Is an example from the textbook. Japanese domestic supply. So let's assume this is the supply of the domestic supply of in Japan. If the government, the Japan government, decide to ban international trade, so that what is this? It's rice. Okay, so rice cannot be imported from other countries. Okay, so if there is a ban, a trade ban is a prohibition to import, then the supply of foreign rice coming from foreign countries would be zero at every price. But if there's no ban, then this can be a foreign supply to Japan. Okay? The rice supply from foreign countries. So you will see it's a positive relationship, because the higher the price, the more willingness foreigners would like to export their rice to Japan. So this is the domestic supply, this is the foreign supply. And there are two cases. If there is a prohibition, no trade, or trade is allowed, then if domestic plus a no trade condition, then the total supply would become this. But if there is no such ban for international trade, then domestic supply plus international supply becomes the total supply. Okay? Let me give you some example with math. Okay, if the Q domestic, let me see, QJ domestic supply of Japan equals, say, 100 plus 2P. And international, I use QI to denote the international supply. Suppose it's sorry, I think I made something wrong here. No. Okay. 2P minus 100 and 4P minus 160. Okay. So this is the price, this is the quantity. For the first equation, how can we draw the first relationship? A domestic supply. When P equals 0, then Q equals negative 100, right? And the slope is 2. So when P equals 50, then Q would be 0, and the slope is 2. So this is the QJ, the supply, domestic supply, domestic supply. But if P equals 40, and the slope should be 1/2. This is the slope. And international. So do I make it correctly? Right? Alright, now, if there is a trade ban, the trade is not permitted, then there is no such things, right? The total supply is composed of domestic supply only. But if there is a free trade, then the total supply would be the sum of these two supplies. Now please, to take out the sheet, practice. To practice.
我会用分在比掌握它的形制。
Some alien come to our classroom.
难。
It's about the frequency because hello. All right. How do you sum this two supply curve up to make a mathematical relationship describe the total, the sum of supply? How to do that? I would suggest you to take this opportunity to practice. Otherwise, if you come across this question in the exam, it would take you more time to solve it if you have never practiced. So how to sum these two supply curves up? So we are summing them along the quantity axis, the horizontal one. So some of you may think, oh, it's quite easy because the total quantity supplied equals the domestic supply and the international supply. Then, oh, it's simple because it would be 6p minus 260. Let's check if the price is at 60. Let's check whether this equation correct or not. If the price is set at 60, then Qj equals 20 and Q international 80. So it should be 100, right? So when P is 60, it will be 360. So this would be 100. And P equals 60. Correct, right? But don't forget, the starting point for domestic supply is 50, which means for prices below 50, no domestic supplier willing to sell their rice to the market, right? So the supply would be 0 when the price is below 50. But for international supply, when the price is above 40, there are some quantities supplied to Japan, right? So you need to notice this kind of conditions. So actually, if the price is less than 40, then the total quantity supplied in Japan would be 0. But if the price is above 40 or between 40 and 50, then this would be what? In the range between 40 and 50. The supply comes or composed of international supply only, right? So in this case, the total quantity supply would be 4p minus 160. And this only stands for when price is higher than or equal to 50. Okay, so there are totally 3 sections. You have to notice this. Not just sum them up along quantity axis, but also you need to notice the vertical intercept. Okay? Any questions so far? I don't see any notes on the table. So if you do have some questions, you may put on a note and place it on the table. Any question? All right, this can be a homework And you may do that or you may do that or not. It's up to you. So I give you another example. This is something I just came to my mind in the class, but if you want to practice some more, wow, exactly the same. Wow, I didn't notice that. Interesting. All right, let's take a 10-minute break.